What's up, guys? Today I wanted to talk about my experience with the 9070 XT graphics card and just talk about my experience with it, and do I recommend it, and what games I've been playing and what sort of frame rates I have been getting, just to kind of give you just a general perspective. Like, this isn't going to be a super technical video or anything. There are videos out there like that. That's not really what I want to do. I just want to kind of give you an average, relatable kind of recommendation or not recommendation, just my experience with it. So, and like why I chose it and stuff. So, I've recently done a PC build, which you can see on my channel if you're interested in that as well. And I opted for the 9070 XT. The reason why I opted for that card is because originally I wanted to get the 5070 Ti. I've been an NVIDIA fan for a while, and basically the last few computers, the laptop that I previously had a 3070 in it, and then my previous computer had a 3070 as well. And then I skipped the 40 series. And so I was going to get the 5070 because that's sort of like a mid-tier, but I wanted to get the 5070 Ti just to kind of like, get a few extra frames, because this generation of NVIDIA cards isn't as good value as it's been previously. And so that's sort of why I was piecing together these parts, and I was like, damn, this computer is coming out to be quite expensive. And I'm just gonna let the cat out. 1 second. So, where was I? The computer was sort of coming out a bit too expensive with the 5070 Ti. I believe that card is around the 1,600 Australian dollars. It's a lot of money just for the graphics card. And so then I was like, okay, well maybe I just get the 5070, which is around, I want to say 1,200, 1,300. Something like that. And then I was like, hold on, there's a whole other side to this. What about AMD? So I started looking at their cards around the same price range, and that's how I came across the 9070 Ti. The 9070 XT. And I was looking up some benchmarks, and a lot of the benchmarks were similar, if not better, than the 5070 Ti. I was like, hold on. Okay, but it was just substantially cheaper. I think this card was, I'll put the price on the screen, what I paid for it, but I believe it was around 1,250, 1,300 Australian, which is around the same price as the 5070. But substantially better performance. So that's why I opted for it, and my experience so far has been awesome. I can actually flip the camera around right now and just show you the computer's off. But this is what it looks like in my curved case. It's quite big, if you can kind of see that. Apparently it's massive. Yeah, apparently this one in particular is quite massive compared to other cards. This is a mid-sized case. And it fits perfectly lengthwise. Height-wise, I am like literally I have this like graphics card arm. It's called the Antec dagger. I got that because it is so big. I wanted that extra support because I don't want it sagging and, damaging the motherboard or whatever. It just fits in the case. Got this dagger arm that actually holds up the graphics card, and that was so close. Like, I was actually really worried. Like, you can see it's basically touching the fans there, but it's just not. So I'm very, very grateful and thankful that fits, because otherwise I could have just not used the dagger arm and somehow figured out another way to kind of like prop it up a bit. But so what my experience has been so far has been very positive, I will say. The first game I tested was Battlefield 2042, so I might go in and I'll get some frame rate footage, but I'll just explain kind of the frames that I got in the games that I've played. And for a bit of context, so I pair it with the the Ryzen 7600. So that's my CPU, which doesn't really it's not a bottleneck. You know, you can get a much better CPU, but it's not really necessary for this card. So if you wanted to, you know, get the next tier up, maybe you might want to also get a better CPU. So my monitor as well is a 1440p monitor. It's not 1080. So keep that in mind as well. This is a beast. This is a beast for 1440. Like, thank God, because I have not really been able to use the 1440 since I got the monitor. Like, probably I would always play games and I would put it down to 1080p just because I value performance and smooth frame rates over crisp details. That's just me. So yeah, first game I was getting around 220 frames, ultra settings, Battlefield 2042 in 1440p, and I was like, wow, this is really impressive. My monitor is 144 hertz, so it's exceeding that by quite a lot. So that's awesome. Then I played, what did I play next? I play a lot of Overwatch. Overwatch has never been an issue because Overwatch is a super optimized game, but it was getting 500s, 400s, 500s, and I did actually see it hitting 600 frames a second, ultra settings, 1440p. Now, on average, it's probably around 350 to 400, but those were sort of like the high end that I did see. So that's awesome as well. Very, very impressed with that. Then I played the Battlefield 6 beta, and I was getting around 180, 190 frames a second with that. Similar to Battlefield 2042, very good performance, no issues, no real crash. I think I had maybe one crash that could just be the beta. I don't think it was related to the card at all. So that was awesome. And Fortnite, I played some Fortnite. What was I getting? I think I was getting around similar, like 160, a bit less than Battlefield 2042, and that's just crazy to me because Fortnite is like a kid's game that like has no real detail. I mean, it looks nice, but it's not like destruction and particle effects and all these things. It's like it's Fortnite. So surprisingly, not the best performance on Fortnite. Same thing. Actually, that was on medium settings as well. So all the other games I was playing on ultra. Fortnite, for some reason, just, I don't know what they've done with that game, or I don't know if it's just not optimized for this card. So that was the one game so far. And I was getting a lot of glitching. Although a lot of people online, actually you can, if you're interested in seeing what the glitching is about, go back and check my last video, which is I tried Fortnite in 2025. I just played a couple matches and I was getting a lot of hitching, glitching, which apparently is like a shader loading cache kind of situation where you have to, like, because they change the map so often and they do all these updates, it's sort of like it needs to load and save a lot of these files. So apparently people online have been dealing with that, and it's not really a graphics card problem. Like you could have a 5090 and you could still potentially have that issue. And I was having that issue a lot, to the point where I just got so frustrated, and I didn't uninstall because I didn't really need to, but I also haven't jumped on again in the last few days. So, and ease of installation, super easy. It takes a dual 12 pin, I believe. I could have that wrong. It's a lot of power that it takes, and my power supply is an 850 gold, so that's perfectly fine. You don't really need anything more than that unless you're gonna upgrade in the future. But I wouldn't go 750. I think 850 is kind of the sweet spot, and yeah, you can always go higher for future proofing, but for me, I wanted to keep my computer best bang for buck, so I opted for that. And yeah, it's got this really nice RGB strip, which is, yeah, that. So I went for the XFX brand, which I mentioned. I think it's great. I didn't really know much about this brand. I still don't really know much about the XFX brand. I based that off of a video of someone who actually did in-depth benchmarks, which I will try and find that video if you're more interested in like heavy stats, and not just like a personal experience like this video here. Because that's kind of what made me choose it. Ultimately, was that person had tested all of these different graphics cards, which I'm just not going to do that. I don't have the capability to do that. I'm not interested in that. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't think there's anything else really. So yeah, I just wanted to share my experience with it in case you are looking at doing your own build and you're opting and you're trying to consider a 5070 Ti or a 5070 or a 9070 XT, and you're like, I don't know if I trust AMD or whatever. Not sponsored, obviously. I have like barely any subscribers. This is just a personal experience, and I wanted to just make the video because, well, for starters, it's just something to talk about, but also maybe it can help you in your decision-making process, because I'm a happy camper with it. Like, I'm stoked with it. For the price, the bang for buck, I think Nvidia kind of dropped the ball this generation, and that's fine. That's kind of good. That's good for business. It's good for AMD. It's good, you know, they can't always be in the lead. Thanks for watching. Yeah, hopefully see you back on the channel. Peace.